Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Liz and today is going to be split up a little bit. This portion of the video is going to be pre-filmed prior to the rest of the portion of this video because there are some things I want to state before actually going through the surgery. So basically this video is going to be about all the pre-qualifications I need to have prior to having the bariatric surgery that I'm currently considering. So I currently weigh about 330 pounds. I'm 5'1", so my BMI is like over 60 at this point in time. So I've gone through this journey about 4 years ago, and then I didn't get that one psych eval qualification, and then she's like, well, I want to see you a third time, and I was going through school, and I was like, yo, I do not have time for this. I do not have time for this. I do not have time for it. So anyways, so I'm just going to go over all the pre-qualifications that is required prior to surgery, what I have done so far, what I have left to do, and if I actually get approved for surgery, then this video will actually be live. If I don't, this video would never see the light of day. But hopefully all goes well and I'm able to have the weight loss surgery. So there are many methods of weight loss surgery. There is the balloon, the lap, the Roux-en-Y, where they're basically rearranging your entire digestive tract. The sleeve, the gastric sleeve, which is the one I'm considering, which they cut off 70% of your stomach and then they stapled a little banana peel back together. And those staples are in you for the rest of your life because it won't heal. So, and that's also a concern. But anyways, basically, so there are so many different qualifications. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the doctors that you're going to need to be seen to get qualified. So you're going to need to see a cardiologist. They're going to need to see an E.G.G. So an E.G.G can reveal any past history of a heart attack. An E.G.G can reveal any heart murmurs, any heart defects that might affect the surgery. You're going to need to see a pulmonologist. So it's something called a pulmonary function test if that's required. You're going to need, in my case, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea when I was 19, primarily obstructive, and then I got my tonsils removed. So what they're currently doing now is they're going to send me an at-home sleep study test so they can monitor me for 2 days and then send it back. You're going to need to see a psychologist / psychiatrist. So they're going to need to have a full letter workup, basically a full essay on you. Basically, I'll go through the questions. If you have anything like diabetes, like heavily like uncontrolled diabetes or type 1 diabetes, you're going to need to see an endocrinologist. So at the time of starting this, I didn't have diabetes, but since then I have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You're going to need to see a gastroenterologist. So what they're going to do is an endoscopy, which basically they stick a camera down your throat. They give you light sedation. They stick a camera down your throat and go through your digestive tract. They're checking for any ulcers, any sores, any inflammation, any gastritis, things like that that could affect the surgery, obviously. You're going to need to see your primary care physician. They're going to want a letter of recommendation. Y'all, my doctor, everything he said was in that letter was true, but my feelings. He basically was like, this patient is overweight, she's obese, she has a BMI of 60, diabetes, high blood pressure, she needs this surgery. Like, thank you, but like my feelings. I mean, okay. Anyways, so also in addition to that, I needed to watch a webinar basically about the surgery, dietary restrictions, but prior to the surgery, after the surgery. There's going to be a more in-depth discussion of what you're expected to eat or restrict from prior and after to your surgery with a nutritionist. So another thing is a support group prior to the surgery and a support group, like a weight loss support group after the surgery, which the one I went to talked about how sleep can affect weight and things like that. The more interesting part of the support group was after the actual discussion of how weight can be attributed to sleep and how it can be related or tied together. I was more interested in the other individuals who have gone through the weight loss surgery, maybe 10-15 years ago. This is just an example. Or people who are still in the process of trying to get approved for the surgery. So it was, I don't know how many people were in, maybe 10 to 15 people plus the nurse that was proctoring the actual webinar, the support. So another thing is the nutritionist evaluation. So basically there is 2 nutritionist evaluations. One, again, with like a webinar, everything's telehealth now. So it was a nutritionist with maybe 15 other people on that chat. And they just talked about everything that you're trying to do prior to the surgery, like my calcium carbonate supplements, my 1-a-day women's supplements, things like that. Trying to drink 64 fluid ounces of liquid, which does not include carbonated beverages, does not include caffeinated beverages. A big thing for me was soda, and basically it was just the carbonation that I was craving. And once I switched over, and this is not, nothing's sponsored, but once I switched over to sparkling ice, no, but seriously, this is what I drink now, and it gets me through the craving for carbonation. But you can't have any carbonation after the surgery. It's just flavored sparkling water. So if you've never had this, it's amazing. There's so many different flavors. But once you stop drinking all the carbonated beverages, all the soda, and a lot of the sodas have caffeine, which makes my stomach hurt, so I can't drink it anyways. But I do if I have no choice. Basically, you always have a choice to drink water, but like, is that really your choice? But like things like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they tend to have caffeine, like Fanta. So I'm very wary of that. But if I feel like drinking it, I'll drink it. So things like measuring your food intake, maybe writing it down, measuring. They don't really specify on calorie intake, but they more specify on the serving, the amount, how much, and protein. They're very protein heavy, like 2 eggs, however much protein. Basically, that was a nutritionist visit. But I still have one more nutritionist visit to talk about like after surgery, because there's going to be a lot of restrictions, obviously. So at this current state in time, I've had my cardiologist, E.G.G, everything was fine. I have seen my personal care physician. They wrote their letter of recommendation referral. I've had the psychiatric referral letter of recommendation. I have my endoscopy in a couple weeks on the 20th, in 10 days. I have my endoscopy in 10 days. I have to have a COVID test on the 15th prior to the endoscopy because it's considered a minor surgery. And since my BMI is above 40, they're probably going to have to intubate me or some kind of extra step as far as, because my BMI is 60, so there's going to be some other precautions that they're going to have to take because of my BMI is over 40. I've seen the webinar. I had my first nutritionist consultation. I had the support group that I went to, and lab work. Obviously you're going to have lab work. Their lab work is pretty intense. Okay, so with all the consultations, they give you the scripts, pretty much the referral. It's basically their script. For the blood work part, they're requiring CBC, differential platelets, comprehensive metabolic panel, your lipid panel, so your phospholipids, your high density lipids, your low density lipids, your sodium, your potassium, things like that are included in your metabolic panel. Thyroid panel, THS, which is your thyroid stimulating hormone, your T3, your T4. Again, something about the thyroid hormones, they're long. They're like try something body. I don't know. PTH intact with calcium, ferritin, iron, urine analysis, vitamin A, B, vitamin B and folate, magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, your serum insulin level, carbo, oxyhemoglobin. So it's pretty intense. So when I went to my PCP, there was some lab work that was included in here that they couldn't do this, so they sent me up to the LabCorp, which was so convenient. Literally, LabCorp was just like a flight up. So your girl took the elevator. Let's not pretend. So basically, the PCP letter is basically why this patient should be recommended for weight loss surgery. I'm not going to go over the nitty gritty. Their BMI and any diagnosis contributing to the weight, and how the weight loss could affect the patient's overall health down the line. Obviously, you're not going to see long-term effects, because it's called long-term, of being overweight until maybe 10, 20 years down the line. Stroke, heart attack, heart disease, things like that. I definitely want to make this distinction now. I'm not saying just because you're overweight you're gonna have heart disease, diabetes, all that stuff. Obviously not. So an individual can be overweight and still be healthy. Okay, so since I want to protect basically my privacy and where I'm gonna have the surgery done, but this is the list of questions they asked my psychiatrist to answer, and obviously he can't answer for me, so we had to have a different visit to answer all these questions, asking if I understand the risks, if I'm mentally stable enough, any dieting, any attempts of dieting, exercise, any complications, how do I feel going into surgery, about post complications, a lot of things like that. So if you took a screenshot, you can go through it. So that's basically where I'm at. So what I have left, since there was a lot of I discussed, what I have left is my endoscopy, which I have scheduled 10 days, my nutritionist, and I have to lose they also, as far as my insurance, some insurances don't require this, they require me to lose 20 to 30 pounds prior to surgery. I think I've lost 10 already. So those are the 3 things that I have left to do. Lose about 10 more pounds, my endoscopy, and my nutritionist eval. Now, and my sleep study. So that part of the pulmonary. So I still have my sleep study that's on its way to me. So those are all the things that I have waiting for me. So basically, I want to go over to the reason why I decided to finally have weight loss surgery. Obviously, I've made this contemplation and decision 4 years ago, and my BMI was much lower then. But I basically have a medication that makes me hungry all the time and a bottomless pit for a stomach, and with no self-control, it's just a horrible combination, okay? And you know, probably overeat. I've never been diagnosed with any kind of, disordered eating, but I'm not going to talk about it either. But basically, I don't want to get to the point where I'm at like my 600-pound life and I can't like wash myself anymore, and I can't get up to go to the mailbox. Like, there's just things that I'm just like, no, it's time. There's things that I used to do that I can't do anymore, like going up a flight of stairs. Like, I get winded, it's embarrassing, and like having someone else to hear my breath. I also have a deviated septum, not weight loss related, I was just born with it, but when I'm sick you can hear me breathing and I sound like a gorilla. Like, it's embarrassing. I can't go on roller coasters anymore. The bar won't click and I'm not getting on the roller coaster if it don't click. And I've gone to Six Flags one day and see which rides fit me and don't fit me, and a lot of the time I wasn't able to click, so I had to get up and let everybody else go and ride the ride and enjoy their time. And it's just, I don't care too much what people think, but it's slightly embarrassing having to not be able to click and have to get off the ride and wait for everybody else. The world definitely judges you primarily based on your appearance, and a large part of it is like, that's the first thing they see. People judge you based off what you look like, obviously. And obviously I'm an overweight woman, and that's what they think about. They make all these assumptions, and it's something I always have to cautiously think about. It's like, okay, well, could this affect me, potentially getting a job? And obviously nobody's going to outright say, oh yeah, we're not going to hire you because you're overweight. The way that society views fat people or overweight people, or whatever you want to call it, it's just disgusting, where it's just like you're going to automatically assume, oh, this person has heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever, just because they're a little chunky, they're a little bit overweight. Like, come on. Just for instance, going on a date with a guy, like, obviously, like, before, I'm in a committed relationship almost 2 years now, but prior to that, the dating game was just a mess, and it was always like a point of contention that I had to worry about if somebody's going, like a potential dater or whatever, going to react seeing my full body. Like, it's just, and it's not that I'm trying to hide my body, it's on TikTok. I'm not ashamed. Like, I like myself at any size. It's just things that I'm not able to do anymore that I want to be able to do. But it's just like this awful Tinder reaction where like this guy basically tried to say I didn't look like my pictures, and it was just, he tried it, but it just things like that I'm just kind of sick of. And things like not being able to tie my shoes because I have this huge panza just means belly in Spanish, but I have this huge stomach in front of me, and I can't do simple things like putting on a shoe, like that's just like, I just want to be able to do it. Again, my channel is not going to become a weight loss channel. Like, let's not go there, because I don't, and that's why I never talked about my weight prior to this channel, because the amount of times that I've gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, it's cyclic, and I just don't want to put some set of expectations for me to continuously lose weight and then have to continually update, like, hey, this happened. It's just not where I want to go. I want to be able to actually have the weight loss surgery and, like, you know, follow through, because once I can no longer, like, overeat and I have that restriction, I'm gonna be fine. And once that hormone is gone, it's gonna come back. But basically, the part of the stomach that they're cutting out includes that hormone that sends the message to your brain, like, hey, I'm hungry, go eat, I'm hungry, you know. Once that part is, like, died down a bit or completely gone for the first year, I think I'll be able to just catch up, you know. Hey guys, so I wanted to give a quick update. So currently today is August 5th. August 1st was my weigh-in for the nutritionist for the surgery. My surgeon wanted me to lose about 20 to 30 pounds prior to surgery, that was not easy. But anyways, so I think I started this process in March of this year, and now all my clearances are in, and the last piece was me losing 20 to 30 pounds. So I didn't start that until the beginning of July, so now it's August. So I've only been doing this, like, consistently trying for about a month. So my diet consisted of, for like a month, probably 2 months at this point, of 2 protein shakes for breakfast and for lunch. They're called Premier protein shakes. Again, before making any dietary changes, I would definitely consult with a nutritionist and your doctor. I'm not a professional. I'm just doing what I'm being told. So yeah, that's what I did. And kind of dinner was like a free-for-all, but not really a free-for-all, but like I was eating salads and everything and chicken, but let's be honest, like that was not consistently what I was doing. I don't quite remember what my dinners were really, but sometimes I would have 2 dinners for that night. But after a while, like, I stopped craving like fast food, and then I had like a donut once from like Dunkin' Donuts, and I realized how sweet it was and how much sugar it is, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to give a quick little update. So basically, I have my surgery date, and my surgery date is August 29th. But prior to my surgery date, I still need a 4-hour nutrition course for things of what I should expect as to what I'm supposed to be eating after surgery. And therefore, you know, it's a long process, because you have to transition your body into solids, from going from a liquid diet. Anyways, I don't know all about it just yet, because I still haven't done it yet. But yeah, the closer the date comes, the more anxiety I get towards it. And a lot of the anxiety is me getting the weight back, if I'm being honest. And I mean, I guess that's a quick turnaround. August 1st was my weigh-in. August 29th is my surgery date, but it's still a lot of time for me to gain all that weight back, which, you know, hopefully not. Like, I'm still doing my diet consistently. So on top of the 4-hour nutrition course, I still need to have my blood work, and I need to meet with the doctor to sign my life away, basically, because it's a major surgery. They want you to sign every possibility that could happen. Like, we're not liable if you die on the table, pretty much. So yeah. Hey guys, so today is August 21st. I'm like 8 days away from surgery, so I'm not gonna post probably it's like the end of the day where my makeup has worn off. It's a bit worn in. But anyways, so I am about 8 days away from surgery, so I probably won't post the first portion of this video until my actual surgery date, because I'm the type of person that you're not gonna make anything public until it's actually said and done, because what am I gonna do, like take down the video or say yeah, it didn't happen? So I'm that type of person. Probably won't post the first portion of this video until my actual surgery has been done. So the last part of it, so tomorrow I have to get my pulmonary function test done, which is just a spirometry, breathe in and out and see maximum output, input, things like that. And then Thursday is my 4-hour nutrition course for everything I need to know after surgery, what my diet's going to be looking like, probably liquid diet, 2 ounces, what have you. And then Friday is going to be my consultation with the doctor. They're going to make me sign my life away, pretty much, blood work, things like that, and probably weigh in again. So yeah, that's a quick little update. If you watch this video all the way to the end, comment down a little scale emoji, whether it's the weight scale or like, you know, the Libra balancing scales or what have you. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and bye.